Salve, salve, guys! Bem-vindos a mais um vídeo de Mafia 3 aqui no canal. Um vídeo um pouco diferente, né? Como vocês assistiram aí no canal recentemente, tem a trilogia inteira pra vocês. Mafia 1, Mafia 2 e as DLCs, e Mafia 3 e as DLCs. E no Mafia 3 eu fiz alguns episódios bônus, como vocês viram. São os finais alternativos que tem no jogo. Na minha campanha que vocês assistiram, o final ficou eu indo embora e o Vito tomando conta da cidade. Mas também tinha uma outra opção, que é escolhendo dominar a cidade com seus parceiros, ou escolher dominar sozinho, como vocês assistiram aí. Quem quiser assistir melhor, tá na playlist do canal aí, do Mafia 3. Esse aqui é um vídeo totalmente diferente, é um vídeo bônus. Como vocês estão ligados, tem 3 parceiros, o Burke, a Cassandra e o Vito. E vocês assistiram no meu, o Vito ficou tomando conta da cidade. Esse vídeo aqui vai ser pra mostrar pra vocês a diferença de cutscene, quando os outros parceiros tomam conta da cidade, né? Durante a minha gravação, eu consegui resetar algumas vezes, e eu consegui fazer a visão da Cassandra, né? A cutscene com a Cassandra e a cutscene com o Vito. Eu achei aqui, demorei muito a achar, mas procurei no YouTube aqui algum canal que tinha feito a versão do Burke recebendo, né, e ficando por conta da cidade. Eu achei aqui, vou dar os créditos no canal aqui pro Fabrício Buzz de Medeiros. O vídeo dele tá em Full HD, mas pelo menos está em português. E é uma diferença muito pequena a cutscene. Ali no início mostra só um pouco a diferença do que o cara fez com o decorrer da cidade enquanto o Lincoln Clay foi embora, o que ele fez durante o seu comando na cidade. Então esse vídeo é basicamente isso. Vou mostrar pra vocês as 3 cutscenes diferentes aí. Depois, o decorrer da cutscene final do jogo é o mesmo. Tanto o final ali daquele detetive contando o que aconteceu, tanto o Donovan lá no final, naquele interrogatório lá com os outros advogados. Fiquem com o vídeo e espero que vocês gostem. Isso vai dar uma diferença aí pra vocês na webcam. Eu tô gravando esse vídeo em diferentes épocas, mas vocês vão entender basicamente como é. E eu volto aqui no final pra agradecer vocês, tá bom? Fiquem com o vídeo aí. Bora!
After Lincoln Clay vanished, Thomas Burke assumed control of the city. According to his daughter, Burke's liver was riddled with cancer. He should have lived maybe, another 6 months. But that selfish bastard used the money Lincoln left him to go to Mexico and get a black market transplant. And then he hung around for another 16 years. Now, he flooded the city with booze, then expanded into drugs, first heroin, then cocaine. He used the same infrastructure he'd set up for moonshining, and within a year or so, most of the cocaine entering the country came through here. Anyway, Burke was one of the wealthiest men in the southern United States. Hell, he bought himself a seat on the city council and got the township's name legally changed to Bourbon City. But all that cocaine attracted other criminals, and Burke went to war with the Cuban gang. Shootouts in the streets, car bombs, a brothel burned to the ground. When the Cubans called him out, Burke came, armed with an M60 and grenades. He killed 8 men before they put him down, and that was 1984. And since then, no one has sat on the throne for more than a few months. The city is still a lawless fool's paradise. After Samarkand's death, Lincoln Clay disappeared.
Las Vegas, Dallas e Oakland.
After Lincoln vanished, Cassandra took control of the city's underworld. It wasn't a crime boss from Boston to Miami who respected her claim, though, so Commission, the Colombians, the Cubans, they all went after her. They realized too late they had no idea who they were fighting. Johnny Galante, throat slit, watching Deep Throat in a porn theater. And Manny Moreno, set on fire outside his daughter's quinceañera. Severo Garcia, buried alive on the beach, drowned when the tide came in. Anton Bagrov, beaten to death with crowbars in the parking lot of the Briar Patch. And then the real criminals came for her. The governor declared martial law, sent in the National Guard. So Cassandra shot him in the head on the steps of the Capitol building. After that, everyone got the message. The city belonged to Cassandra. But the government is like a rogue elephant. It's murderous and patient and never forgets. So the state pulled funding for the schools, city maintenance, you name it. If they couldn't get Cassandra, they'd strangle the city until it gave her up. Hurricane Cassandra, the locals called it. I don't think anyone expected the damage to be so severe that the levees would completely fail, that the flooding would wipe out half the city and force the other half to leave, that the city would turn into the ghost town it is today. I mean, it's hard to believe, really. A major American city, I mean, left to rot like that? Some say Cassandra was one of the thousands who drowned in the flood. Others say she slipped away to the swamps and still rules what's left of the city's underworld from the bayou. Either way, she's a ghost. She hasn't been seen in years. After Sal Marcano's death, Lincoln Clay disappeared. After Lincoln vanished, Vito Scaletta took over the city. Now he spit on Sal Marcano's grave one last time by actually doing what Marcano couldn't, finishing the casino. Now 2 years later, Scaletta opened another casino, and then it was just an avalanche of development. Hotels, arenas, the new convention center. I mean, today everyone knows this place as the Las Vegas of the South, but the whole damn thing was built on bodies Lincoln Clay left behind, with blood money he and his lieutenants stole from the mob. And Vito? He still lives in that penthouse at the top of Marcano's casino, looking out over the city he owns. After Sal Marcano's death, Lincoln Clay disappeared.
Salve, guys! Voltamos. Como vocês viram aí, vocês assistiram primeiro a cutscene do Thomas Burke, logo em seguida vocês assistiram da Cassandra e logo do Vito Scaletta. Logo que a gente passa daquela placa lá de Las Vegas, começa a cutscene, né, na opção de ir embora. São essas três cutscenes diferentes dos três parceiros que tomam conta da cidade depois que a gente vai embora. Como vocês viram, alguns são meio vacalhados, né? Acho que o do Vito aí, como é o do final da minha campanha, é o melhorzinho, então por isso que eu deixei ele aqui por último. E vocês repararam que eu cortei ali, né, nas duas cutscenes passadas. Eu cortei nesse exato momento que eu tô aparecendo aqui pra vocês, porque a partir daqui até o final, até o interrogatório com os advogados do Donovan é exatamente igual. Então eu vou deixar aqui pra vocês, rolando até o final de toda a cutscene do game aí, e eu volto pra despedir de vocês. Fiquem com o restinho aí e tamo junto.
The Bureau deprioritized the investigation after a few months, but I keep an active file. In 1971, I tracked him to a California shipyard where he was working under an assumed name. By the time we got there, though, he was gone. The trail went cold, and by 77, 78, I figured he was dead. But then I got a report of someone matching his description working with the Colombians. Since then, there's a new sighting of him every couple of years.
Lincoln made it out to California. Worked at the shipyards for a few years. Met him a woman.
Dá pra ver no jeito que ele fala que ele tá feliz, mano. Esse é o melhor personagem do jogo, pô. Foda-se. Os depoimentos dele são os melhores.
Moving around. He went to Alaska, New York, South America. He even went back to Vietnam. I still get postcards from time to time. You know, I think Lincoln wasn't able to accept the world for what it is, or his place in it.
Someday, he's going to get tired of running, or make a mistake, and I'll be waiting. I promise you that.
Hold my hand, ooh baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand, long way down.
Let me ask you something.
É a mesma cutscene da campanha 1.
Where were you when John Fitzgerald Kennedy was assassinated?
I don't remember. At home, I believe.
I don't remember. At home, I believe. Let me tell you where I was. A muddy hut in Vietnam. Slowly dismembering an old woman. Cutting her apart bit by bit. And do you know why? Because her son was an NVA officer. And hurting her was the only way to make him talk.
I don't understand what this has to do
What he
with
told us saved the lives of an entire platoon. That's 42 men. Men that lived another day because I was willing to take a saw to that old woman.
Thank you, Mr. Donovan. I believe that.
Sit down and shut the fuck up! I did a lot of terrible shit over there. In the name of this country. Shit that will haunt me for the rest of my life. But I did it because I believed in the fight. I believed what this nation stood for. So, to be sitting there ass deep in mud with that old woman scattered all around me, and hearing that the President of the United States had just been fucking murdered, well, I knew right then and there that I couldn't let that stand. That I would find a way to make it right no matter how long it took.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that Sal Marcano and a group of conspirators murdered Jack Kennedy.
Oh, that is the most absurd thing I have ever heard.
I assumed you would say that. Don't fucking move!
This... You're out of your mind.
Oh, I don't hold anyone's ambitions against them, Senator. And you certainly were ambitious, weren't you? You went to law school, and then you became a district attorney, and then United States Senate. After Sal Marcano died, I went through his files. Imagine my surprise when I saw your name over and over and over and over again. The mob wanted Jack Kennedy dead, and you were more than willing to help.
There are cameras everywhere. There's witnesses.
No, I want
You'll
them
never
to
get
see
away
this,
with
you
this.
stupid asshole, because then they will know that I am not finishing with you. I am starting with you. Oh! 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 And they're next. Gentlemen. God!
Então é isso, galera. Esse é o vídeo que eu queria mostrar pra vocês. Pra fazer o combo e finalizar toda a história do Mafia 3 junto às DLCs e tudo mais, tá aí um bônus pra vocês, mostrando a opção de ir embora com as 3 cutscenes dos 3 parceiros nossos e as 2 outras opções, né, que estão em vídeos separados aí no canal, que é governar com meus parceiros e governar sozinho, que acontece tudo que vocês viram lá. Espero que vocês tenham curtido. Gostei muito de fazer esse vídeo. Como vocês viram, né, a primeira cutscene do Burke, a webcam tá um pouco mais esticada, porque eu demorei muito a gravar, então algumas coisas melhoraram aqui no canal, no estúdio, na qualidade. E é isso, espero que vocês tenham gostado. Tamo junto demais. Curta, comenta, compartilha. Esses vídeos são retirados da minha Twitch, twitch.tv/sksfps1. Quem quiser acompanhar lá jogos, vocês aqui do YouTube assistem as missões principais, mas lá eu faço tudo, side quests, secundárias e tudo mais. E é isso, guys, tamo junto demais. Curta, comenta, compartilha. Valeu, falou e fui!